Miarahaba ampitiavana ary marary antsika rehetra tonga soa amin'ity toerana ity. Andriamatoa filohan'ny Repoblikan'ny Madagasikara, Andry Rajoelina sy Ramatovadiny. Ny ray aman-dreny be vahintsika Prem Rawat. Andriamatoa lehiben'ny gouvernementa, Prime Ministre Ntsay Christian. Ianareo parlementaire, ministre, sojabe, olom-panjakana, tompona andraikitra amin'ny andraikitra reo avy. Ianareo tapaka sy namana nasaina, avy amin'ny lafivalin'ny nosy, ianareo zandry tanora skoto sy mpianatra amin'ny université. Tompoko vavy sy tompoko lahy, Arisson Stefanio no anarako. Izao no filohan'ny fikambanana vagnona, sady mpanentana an'izao fotoana lehibe izao. Mamelay ianareo amintona foy ny antony atongavantsika eto androany. Ny fikambanana vagnona mitsangana ara-panjakana dia mandray anjara amin'ny fanomezan-danja ny kolontsaina malagasy maro loko ary amin'ny fitezana ny olom-pirenena vagnona. Nanangana club de lecture izahay tamin'ny volana febroary. Ary tao anatin'ny club de lecture no nisy namana iray, Kenny Désiré, nitondra taminay ny boky Apprendre à s'écouter. Io boky io no nifankafantaranay tamin'ny sojabe tonga eto androany, Prem Rawat, ary liana zay tamin'ny fahatsoran'ny fomba fanoratany ka dia nifandray tamin'ny fondation zay niforoniny, ary taorian'izay dia karakara fampiofanana fizarana tamin'ny tanora teto Toamasina, ilay antsona hoe programme d'éducation pour la paix. Amizao tsika miresaky zao dia efa maherin'ny 500 ireo tanora eto Toamasina anatin'ny faratratsinanana no efa nifampizarana izany anatin'ny lohahevitra 10 dia ny la paix, l'appréciation, la force intérieure, la conscience de soi, la clarté, la compréhension, la dignité, le choix, l'espoir ary la plénitude. Nanoananay ny fomba fanoratany ka dia nizaka hatrany izay nifampizara an'io programme d'éducation pour la paix io ary isaorana ny fitondram-panjakana satria tamin'ny alalan'ireo ray aman-dreny aty fotony. Andriamatoa ministre ny travaux publics zay gouverneur tamin'izay fotoana zay, andriamatoa préfet nanamora ny ara-taratasy ary andriamatoa gouverneur am'izao fotoana zao tanora mavitrika dia nanampy anay foana. Ndray andro nandefa email na mailaka izahay tamin'ilay site web zay hitanay dia ny premrawat.com. Akory ny agaganay fa andro vitsivitsy taty aorina dia namaly ry zareo ary nilaza hoe nanohina azy ny afatrareo ka ho avy fampizara message de paix any Toamasina izy. Isaorana ny Zanahary sy ny razana fa dia eto tafavory lanety isika mianakavy androany. Araka ny fomba malagasy dia asaintsika ny groupe say vakodrazana say ve Toamasina ifampiarahaba amintsika amin'ny alalan'ny hira anankiray. isaorantsika ny groupe say tamin'izay ira fiarabana izay. Andriamatao filohan'ny Repoblika Madagasikara mivady, isaoranay rehetra zay tonga manatrika eto ianareo mivady satria maro loko ny programme eto Tomasina sy nadononareo ity fiaonambe ity ka dia isaorana tompoko. Tompoko vavy sy tompoko lahy, raisitsika ampitiavana Andriamatoa Prem Rawat. Manao sanao tompoko hiakatra eto amintsihatra.
Thank you. Mr. President, Prime Minister, ministers, honored guests. It's my pleasure to be here today and to talk to you. What I have to say is something very simple. You know, what I talk about has something to do with connecting from here to here. The world connects from here to here. But there is very little that connects from here to here. Your existence, your life is based on 3 laws. And I don't care who you are, what you have accomplished, how rich you are, how poor you are, but you are effectively controlled by 3 laws. And the laws are: you were born. Anybody here that was not born? Everybody was born. 2, you are alive. You breathe. Law number 3, one day you have to go. That's it. You're controlled by these 3 laws. Now, you could become the wisest person, but you would still be controlled by these 3 laws. You could be the poorest person, you would still be controlled by these 3 laws. You could be the richest person, you would still be controlled by these 3 laws. So the world teaches us our differences. If you want to understand what peace is all about, learn to see our similarity. And our similarity is we are controlled by these 3 laws. But we don't understand them. We want to know what we were before we were born. And we want to know what's going to happen to us after we die. And we're always wondering, why are things happening to us? So this is how we treat the 3 laws. I will tell you a story.
Tantara anankiray aminareo a.
Do you like stories?
Tia tantara ve nareo?
Okay, I'll tell you a story.
Tantaraiky tantara zany nareo.
Once upon a time,
Ndray andro ony a,
there was a man,
misy lehilahy anankiray.
and he used to go to the base of the mountain
Dia taloha izy a mandeha any amin'ny fototra ireny tendrombohitra ireny.
and he would take his chisel and he would cut a piece of rock.
Dia maka le fitaovana izy a, maka marteau be izy a, dia manapaka vongana vato.
He would bring that home
Dia hoentiny mody,
and he would make statues from it.
dia manamboatra statue na sikitra amin'iny izy zany.
He would make mortar and pestle from it.
Dia kapokapohana izy dia avadikavosika amboarana zavatra be lehibe zany ny vato iny.
And he would sell these things,
Dia avy eo iny a amidiny.
make a little bit of money.
Dia azahoany vola kely.
But he had to work really hard.
Fa tena mila miasa mafy be nefa izy a.
In the heat,
Ao amin'ny hafanana.
go chisel a little piece of rock,
Miasa mikapokapoka vato kely.
bring it home,
Vatany iny mandeha mody.
work on it.
Dia manamboatra mamolavolana iny.
It was hard work.
Asa be ihany ilay izy.
And every day he prayed to God,
Isan'andro izy mivavaka amin'Andriamanitra hoe,
please, God,
Andriamanitra,
change my life.
mba ovao ny fiainako.
I don't like this.
Siako izao zavatra iainako izao.
So one day,
Dia indray andro ary,
as he was going to the market,
rehefa andala mandeha ho any an-tsena iny izy,
he went by the rich man's house
dia nandalo teo akaikin'ny tranon'olona mpanan-karena be anankiray.
and he heard the music.
Eny ny mozika nandeha tao.
So he looked in
Dia nitazatazana kely.
and they were playing music.
Dia hitany fa nisy nitendritendry tao.
They were having a party.
Nanao fety zareo.
He looked up,
Dia nijery ambony izy.
God,
Andriamanitra,
give me that life.
omeo anahy zao karazana fomba fiainana zao.
This is what I want.
Zao mihitsy ny zavatra iriko.
That day,
Tamin'io andro io a,
God was listening.
dia mihaino anazy Andriamanitra.
It isn't always God is listening, but that day God was listening.
Andriamanitra tsy mihaino isan'andro isan'andro fa tamin'io izy tena mihaino.
Just like that.
Tena ihany a, indray mpimatra.
He has a big house.
Dia nahazo trano ngeza be izy.
He has servants.
Dia misy mpanompo manampy anazy zao.
He's rich.
Nanan-karena izy.
There's people that have come to see him.
Dia misy olona tonga mamangy anazy ao.
Everything he wanted and more, he has it.
Ny zavatra rehetra niriny ary mihoatra lavitra noho izany ara dia azony tamin'ny fotoana iny.
He says to himself, this is good.
Dia hozy izy tamin'ny tena hoe tsara kosa zao a.
This is what I wanted.
Zao no tena efa faniriko.
Thank you, God.
Satria anao Andriamanitra.
One day,
Indray andro any.
when he was sitting in his living room,
Indray andro ary mipetraka tao amin'ny salon izy.
sipping his tea,
Kafe misotro dite.
eating fresh baked biscuits,
Mihinana karazana mofo sy biscuit voavi.
he heard a procession go by.
Dia naheno feo ohatran'ny hoe olona be dia be miara mandeha eo ivelany ao.
He looked,
Dia nitazaniny
and it was the king.
mpanjaka no nandalo.
He was going by.
Nandalo teo mpanjaka.
So he asked his people, he said, who is he?
Dia nanontany andreo mpanompony izy hoe fa izy iny?
You don't know?
Dia mozy ireo hoe tsy fantatrao ve?
He's the king.
Ino ny mpanjaka?
What is a king?
Ino izany mpanjaka?
He's the king of this land.
Izy ny mpanjaka n'ity tany anatolo ity.
Everybody pays his respect to him.
Ny olona rehetrarehetra dia manaja azy daholo.
He's the most powerful person around here.
Izy olona matanjaka indrindra, manan-kazana indrindra eto amin'ity toerana ity.
The rich man thought,
Eritreretra teto indray ilay mpanan-karena io.
I am not the most powerful person.
Ay dia tsy za zany olona manan-danja indrindra rery ato.
He is.
Ay dia zany ino tena izy?
He looked up.
Zaka indray izy.
God,
Andriamanitra,
I want to be the king.
za te ho mpanjaka.
He was lucky
Tsara vita izy teo.
because that day too,
Satria tamin'io andro koa,
God was listening.
dia miaina Andriamanitra.
Next thing you know,
Dia ny zavatra miseho, fantatrareo,
he's the king.
lasa mpanjaka izy.
Oh, he is so happy now.
Faly be indray aloha zany izy.
He controls everybody.
Izy no mifehan'ny olona rehetra.
And one day, early in the morning, he is out on his balcony
Indray maraina, mitazatazana teo amin'ny lavaranga lapany teo izy.
looking,
Mitazatazana.
and he sees that when he woke up, nobody else woke up.
Dia ny zavatra hitany dia hoe, rehefa mifomana izy a,
But
mbola
as,
tsy mitompo ny olona ny leriny.
but as soon as the sun rose,
Fa nefa kosa rehefa manomboka miposaka amin'ny masoandro,
the birds started flying, the people started coming out of their houses.
dia manomboka maniditsidina ny vorona, manomboka mivoaka ao an-trano daholo ny olona tsirairay.
And he thought to himself,
Ozy izay izy tao an-tsainy tao hoe,
the sun is more powerful than me.
mbola matanjaka sy manandanja no tena tondray izany masoandro izany.
When I got up, nobody else got up.
Rehefa mifoha dia tsy misy mifoha ny olona hafa.
But when the sun got up,
Fa rehefa miposaka izany hoe mifoha ny masoandro,
my whole kingdom is waking up.
dia mifoha daholo ny olona rehetra tao amin'ity fanjakako ity.
God,
Andriamanitra,
I want to be the sun.
za te ho lasa masoandro.
That day too, God was listening and boom, he's been transformed into the sun.
Tamin'io andro koa miaina Andriamanitra, bom, vadika masoandro izy.
Now, wherever he shines,
Dia any amin'izay toerana rehetra mila mpiratana,
people look for shade.
dia lasa mialoka ny olona.
He is truly very powerful.
Dia hita mihitsy efa tena matanjaka izy ary tena mifehy olona rehetra.
One day he noticed
Indray andro kosa indray nefa dia tazana fa
that as he was trying to shine,
na dia efa miezaka mamira treny any izy.
there was an area where he couldn't shine.
Dia misy faritra tsy nahafahana na mirapiratra mihitsy.
He looked,
Dia nijereny,
what is that?
fa inona koa io?
He realized it was a cloud.
Dia teo izy vao tonga saina hoe, misy rahona.
And it doesn't matter how bright the sun shone,
Dia na dia tena hoe niezaka ny mamirapiratra arak'izay tratratra ary amin'ny masoandro a,
his light couldn't pass through the cloud.
tsy afaka namakivaky mihoatra ny rahona iny a, ny hazavana sy ny famirapiratana mihitsiny.
So he said,
Indray izy hoe,
this cloud is more powerful than me.
mbola matanjaka sy manandanja noho ny zandra io rahona io.
It can stop my light.
Io afaka mitazona, afaka mifehy ny hazavana alefana.
God,
Andriamanitra,
make me a cloud.
atao mivadika rahona.
Now he's a cloud.
Dia lasa rahona indray izy.
And sure enough, no light passes through him.
Dia tena natao mihitsy izay azo natao mba tena hoe hisakanana ny hazavana tsisy amakivaky azy.
He's powerful.
Tena matanjaka izy.
One day,
Indray andro,
he notices
zao ny zavatra tazana.
that he's being moved.
Hitany hoe ohatrany lasa mihetsika izy.
He's being moved, he's being moved, he's being moved, and he doesn't want to move, but he's being moved.
Mifindra izy tsy te hetsika, tsy te hifindra izy fa eny misy manosika dia mihetsika dia mihetsika dia mifindra.
He looks and he goes, what's moving me?
Jery io zay fa iza kosa manosika ana zany e.
Ah, it's the wind.
Ay, rivotra kay.
What? The wind is more powerful than the cloud?
Rivotra zany mbola matanjaka noho ny rahona.
God,
Andriamanitra,
make me the wind.
atao mivadika rivotra.
And he flows and he blows and he goes 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 and he goes.
Dia nanomboka mivadika rivotra izy dia nitsoka dia nandrivotra dia nandehandeha nihodinkodina sy niraroteny.
Then one day,
Indray andro,
he's blowing as hard as he can,
miezaka tena mitsoka mafy indrindra arak'izay tratrany izy.
as fast as he can.
Tena arak'izay ny afainganam-pady aingana indrindra tratrana.
And all of a sudden, he stops.
Tampoka teo nefa dia hijanona tsy tafetsika tsony izy.
He can't blow anymore.
Tsy afaka mitsoka tsony izy.
What's stopping me?
Inona koa izany mibahana anazy any?
He looks,
Mijery izy.
and it's a mountain.
Tena hita tendrombohitra.
A mountain is stopping him.
Tendrombohitra no mibahana azy teo.
So he goes, the mountain is more powerful than the wind.
Ohatra izy vao tonga saina hoe ay izany ty tendrombohitra ty mbola matanjaka noho ilay rivotra.
God,
Andriamanitra hoe,
I want to be the mountain.
za dia ho lasa tendrombohitra.
There he is. He's the mountain.
Dia eo mantsy ty tendrombohitra indray izy.
One fine day,
Dia nisy andro anankiray
he hears a noise.
naheno feo izy. Tabataba.
Ding, ding, ding,
Tapaka ohatran'izay ny feo.
ding. He looks down
Jery kely tao ambany tao izy.
and he sees a man
Nahita lehilahy izy.
with his chisel
Miaraka amin'ilay fitaovana.
and hammer
Miaraka amin'ny marito.
cutting the mountain.
Kapa vato manesotra vato avy eo amin'ilay tendrombohitra.
He remembered
Dia teo ny tadidiny a.
that's who he was.
Hoe ohatran'ny olona izy taloha.
And he thought everything else was more powerful than him.
Tamin'izany izy dia tena nieritreritra hoe ny zavatra rehetra manodidina azy dia mbola manan-danja sy matanjaka noho izy.
And today he sees
Fa nefa eto izy nefa dia mahita hoe
that he was the most powerful.
ka iny olona iny zany hoe izy taloha hoe izany matanjaka indrindra.
All of us as human beings,
Isika rehetra, isika olombelona rehetra,
when we are afflicted with pain and sorrow,
rehefa misedra fangirifirina sy alahelo isika.
in our sorrow we want to be somebody else.
Rehefa malahelo be iny isika dia maniry mba te ho toy ny olon-kafa.
But
Nefa
we are still influenced by the three rules.
tsy io fa mbola le lalàna anankitelo foana ihany no mifehintsika.
Even in your pain and sorrow, the breath is coming into you. The breath.
Na ao anatin'ny alahelo sy ny fangirifirina azy ianao dia mbola misy fofonainy hatrany a miditra mbola ao aminao mbola afaka miaina ianao.
Do you know that when you were born,
Fantatrao ve fa tamin'ny ianao vao teraka
everybody wanted to know if you were breathing or not?
ny zavatra rehetra tian'ny olona manodidina anao teo tamin'io fotoana io dia ny hoe miaina ve ilay zaza sa tsy?
You were not alive till you took your first breath.
Tsy afaka atao hoe miaina sy velona tsinona ny olona iray a raha tsy misy an'iny fotoana fofonaina voalohany iny.
So, let me just stop right there.
Hiatro kely aloha eto a.
You all know who you are, right?
Samy malala daholo ianareo tsirairay avy izy ianareo e.
You know who you are, right?
Fantatrao hoe izy ianao sa tsy izany?
You know your name.
Fantatrao ny anaranao.
You know what you do.
Fantatrao ny asanao.
You know what your age is.
Fantatrao ny taonanao.
Now let me ask you a question.
Ametratra fanontaniana aminareo ara eto.
You began when you took the first breath.
Ny fiandohan'ny fiainanao a dia tamin'ny fisomanao fofonaina voalohany taminao niaina voalohany indrindra.
And you know when you're going to go?
Fantatrao ve hoe rehefa hoviana ny afara amin'ny fiainanao rehefa handeha ianao?
When you take your last breath.
Iny a amin'ilay fotoana amoahanao ny fofonaina, anarinao fofonainao faly.
The doctor will look at this, the doctor will look at that.
Ijery zavatra be dehibe eo amin'ny dokotera.
They will look at the monitors, they will look at this, they will look at that.
Ijery ny écran sy ny indication rehetrarehetra ny dokotera.
And then they put their finger right here
Dia avy eo dia ho apetrany eo amin'ny oronao eo a ny ratsan-tanana.
to feel if you're breathing or not.
ahafahany mitsapa hoe mahatsapa hoe miaina ve ianao sa tsy.
In the old days, they used to put a mirror.
Taloha zavatra natao dia nampisina fitaratra teo aloha teo.
And if you were not breathing anymore,
Dia rehefa tsy miaina intsony ianao a,
that's when you were officially dead.
dia izay ianao natao hoe maty amin'ny fomba ofisialy.
So, I just asked you,
Zao raha nanontaniako anareo teo.
you know yourself.
Mahalala tsara ny tenanareo ianareo.
What do you know about the breath?
Inona ny zavatra fantanareo mahakasika ny fofonay ny resaka miaina ny.
Without the breath, you think you were coming from the hospital to home?
Ianao hoe mieritreritra hoe raha tsy nisy an'izay fofonaina izay dia afaka nandeha nody avy any amin'ny hôpitaly ianao.
And without the breath,
Ary raha tsisy ny fahafahana miaina iny koa,
are you going to stay home?
dia afaka hijanona hivelona ao an-trano ve ianao?
Nope.
Tsia.
They're going to pack you off.
Fonosana ny olona ianao a.
Without this breath,
Rehefa tsy afaka miaina.
out, 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 out.
Avoaka ny olona any ivelany any avoaka.
When you have this breath going,
Fa rehefa afaka miaina ianao a,
when you have this breath going,
rehefa miaina, rehefa afaka miaina,
you are alive.
dia velona ianao dikan'izay.
Without this breath,
Raha tsisy an'io aina io rehefa tsy afaka miaina, tsisy fofonaina,
you are nothing.
dia zava-poana ianao tsy misy kara.
So,
Zao ohatra.
should breath be included in knowing yourself or not?
Tokony tafiditra ao anatin'ny fahafantarana ny tena ary ve a?
Since it is such an important thing, do you think it should be included?
Satria hitantsika eto hoe tena zava-dehibe izy io. Nareo sao dia tokony ho ampidirina sa hozy nareo?
What do you think?
Inona ny hevitrareo?
Yes? No? Yes? No? Yes. It should be included.
Tokony ho ampidirina mihitsy.
Your existence depends on it.
Miankina amin'izany ny fahavelomanao.
Peace begins by exploring the peace that is inside of you.
Io fiadanana io a dia manomboka ny fikatsahanao, fikarohanao, ny fiadanana ao anatinao ao.
I would like to tell you one more story. Would you like to hear it?
Tantara efa aminareo indray ihany mbola mazoto fiaina nareo.
You like stories, huh?
Tianareo ilay tantara.
We all like stories.
Tantara daholo.
So, this is a story about what we practice.
Tia dia tantara ny zavatra averiveritsika hatrany.
There was once a man who was very good at shooting arrows.
Indray andro a, nisy lehilahy anankiray a, tena mahay be mihitsy izy mahay mitifitra amin'ny flèche.
He was excellent marksman.
Tena hoe mahay indrindra anatiny tena mana-talenta sady tena hoe anisan'ny professionnel mihitsy izy amin'ny resaka tir lafo.
He would shoot an arrow,
Mitifitra izy a,
then he would shoot another arrow,
dia rehefa mitifitra fandroa indray izy.
and with the second arrow, he would split the first arrow.
Alefa amin'izany hoe le flèche voalohany dia mandefa flèche manaraka izy. Dia amin'ny flèche faharoa iny a,
And all the audience
flèche voalohany dia mizara roa.
and all the audience would clap.
Dia miaka daholo mpanotrana.
He would go from village to village,
Dia mitety tanàna izy.
showing the people how good he was.
Ahafahany mampiseho ny talentany sy ny fahaizana ny olona rehetra.
And when people would clap,
Mitehaka ny olona.
he felt very proud of himself.
Dia tena faly ery izy, tena mirehareny amin'ny tenany mihitsy izy.
So one day,
Indray andro ary,
he went to this village
nandeha tao anaty tanàna anankiray izy.
and he was shooting his arrows.
Dia narefa indray ilay flèche.
People were applauding.
Dia mitehaka ny olona.
And all of a sudden,
Tantoka teo a,
he heard somebody say,
nain'olona ny tena izy hoe,
It's only a matter of practice.
Ay ve, resaka fahazarana fotsiny io e.
It's only a matter of practice.
Efa fahazarana ny anazy efa zatra manao an'io izy.
The man was very upset.
Sorena be izy tamin'izay.
These people were applauding him,
Ny olona rehetrarehetra teo mitehaka daholo.
and they were applauding him because he was good.
Mitehaka daholo reo satria mahay izy.
In his opinion, it was not a matter of practice.
Amin'ny manokana zany a, tsy misy idirany hoe fanazara-tena io, tsy misy idirany hoe efa mahazatra, efa fataony matetika io.
In his opinion, it was him.
Ny ao an-tsainy a, dia hoe izy no mahatonga izany.
So after the whole show was over,
Rehefa tapitra daholo ny fampisehoana,
he went looking for the man who kept saying, it's only a matter of practice.
ary izy mitady an'ilay lehilahy miteny hoe resaka fanazara-tena fanazara-tena fotsiny io e, resaka fahazarana io.
He saw a man sitting there
Mahita lehilahy izy mipetraka teo.
with lots of little bottles,
Miaraka amin'ny tavoahangy kely be dia be.
a big pot of oil,
Dia misy fondeza be a feno menaka.
He went over to him
Dia nanatona anazy izy.
and he said, "What do you mean it's a matter of practice?"
Dia hoy izy hoe, inona no tianao tenenina amin'ilay hoe resaka fahazarana sy fanazara-tena fotsiny io e.
This is my ability, my capability.
Fahaizako ny io e, talentako manokana sy ny fahaiza-manao ako ny andresahana eto e.
The oil salesman said, "Wait a minute."
Dia hoy ilay rangahy mpivarotra menaka hoe, oka kely aloha.
He picked up the big pot of oil.
Nalainy ny vilany izy be feno menaka.
He took a bottle, a very narrow opening bottle,
Naka tavoahangy kely a, tady kely, misy kely mihitsiny a, ny moan'ny tavoahangy ny vavany.
and started pouring the oil
Dia nanomboka nandraraka menaka tao anatin'ny tavoahangy io izy.
without spilling a drop.
Tsy nisy nandraraka mihitsy ny menaka na kely ary.
He filled the bottle with oil.
Feno a, ilay tavoahangy, feno ny menaka zany ary tsy misy very.
Then he told the archer,
Dia hoy izy tamin'ilay tireur-bala,
"Now you do it."
alefa anao zao, ataovy.
And he says, "I can't."
Dia hoy izy hoe, tsy vitako, tsy haiko io.
What does this story mean?
Inona ny zavatra tiany izany tantara izany?
This story means that you have the good in you.
Ny zavatra lazainy io tantara io a, dia hoe tena manana ny zavatra tsara ao aminao ianao.
Do you have kindness in you?
Manana atsara-panavy ianao.
Do you?
Manana be.
Is there anybody here who doesn't have kindness in them?
Misy olona miteny hoe tsisy fahatsara-panavy mihitsy ao anatiny ao ve?
Anybody?
Misy olona be.
Everybody has kindness in them.
Manana izay atsara-panazy daholo ny tsirairay.
Do you have joy in you?
Manana fifaliana ve ianao ao anatinao ao?
Do you have happiness in you?
Fifaliana, fahasambarana.
But do we practice these things?
Fa manana zatra tena mampiasa an'izy ireny ve isika?
Do we practice kindness?
Averimberitsika ve ny atsara-panahy?
Do we practice joy?
Verimberitsika ve ny fifaliana?
And if we don't,
Fa tsy ataontsika izay a.
please ask yourself,
Inongavy aminao a, androany hoe anontany ny tenanao.
why not?
Efa maninona tsy ampiasanao izy ireny?
Why don't we practice peace?
Fa maninona tsy ampiasika, tsy ampiasaitsika isanandro ny fiadanana maty?
That's what peace education program is all about.
Zay raha fehezina ny zavatra rehetra ao anatiny ny fandaharam-pampianarana mahakasika ny fiadanana maty iny.
It is about digging in you, reaching in you,
Tena hoe mitodika amin'ny tenanao ianao dia mitrandraka ny ao anatinao ao.
and start practicing peace in your life.
Dia mamerimberina, mametraka, mampiatra ary manazatra ny tenanao amin'ny fananana an'izay fiadanana anaty izay amin'ny fiainana.
There is a very little story I'm going to tell you.
Tantara fohy kely anankiray Tsy nitantarako anareo ity.
There was this great war in India long time ago,
Tany aloha be tany misy ady lehibe anankiray izay tany Inde.
and it was called Mahabharat.
Mahabharata ny anaran'ilay ady.
You might have heard of it.
Mety efa hainareo tamin'any izany.
And this is an epic poem,
Ity anisan'ny tononkalo.
and it is bigger than Iliad and Odyssey put together.
Tena hoe anisan'ny io toerana io anisan'ny toerana ngeza be.
In this, there is a little story, and the story is that one day, the 5 brothers who have been exiled,
Ao amin'ny tantara io dia indray andro nisy mpirahalahy dimy natao sesisany.
feel thirsty.
Dia nangeta ety zareo.
The eldest brother
Ilay zoky indrindra
sends his second brother
niteny tamin'ny zandry manaraka ilay anazy
to look for water.
hoe andana mitady rano.
So the brother goes
Dia nandeha ilay rahalahy
looking for water.
mitady rano izy.
He finds a lake,
Dia nahita renirano izy.
and he's thirsty too.
Dia mba nangetaheta koa izy.
So he reaches in and starts to drink water.
Lasa izy nankeo amin'ny renirano io dia nanomboka nisotro rano.
But just as he's bringing the water to his mouth,
Vao nanomboka napiditra ny rano tao ambavany tao izy
the spirit of the lake comes out
dia nivoaka ny fanahy io rano io.
and says, "No, you cannot drink water.
Dia ozy rehefa nalay rano hoe tsy mahazo misotro rano ianao.
If you drink this water without answering my questions,
Tsy mahazo misotro amin'io rano io ianao raha tsy valinao aloha fanontaniako.
you will die."
Dia rehefa tsy valinao izay fanontaniana izay misotro amin'io ianao dia ho faty ianao.
The brother thinks he's so powerful,
Dia izy moa nieritreritra hoe asa olona tena matanjaka be
he starts drinking the water,
tsy natahotra izy fa dia nanomboka misotro amin'ny rano izy.
and he dies.
Dia maty izy.
After a little while, the eldest brother sends the third.
Aveka fotoana fohy indray ilay zokiny indrindra tamin'izy mirahalahy ireo dia nandefa ilay zandriny nanaraka araka zareo izany fahatelo
To make a long story short, this happens to all of them.
Ao fezy ilay tantara raha fitinina dia hoe izay daholo ny zavatra niseho tamin'izy mirahalahy avy ireo.
So now the eldest brother is out
Dia izao ilay zokiny lamatoa io izany lasa nandeha
looking for his brothers.
mitady ny rahalahy.
He comes across the lake.
Tonga teo amin'ny renirano izy.
He sees they're all dead,
Hita zareo maty daholo.
and he's thirsty.
Dia izy nangeta eto.
As he reaches for the water,
Dia rehefa andeha hisotro amin'ny rano izy.
the Spirit says, "Answer my questions, otherwise the same fate as happened to your brothers will happen to you."
Rehefa nahalay rano io fa io fanontaniako fa raha tsy izany dia ny ozona nahazo andreo ranahanareo dia izy koa nitrana aminao.
He says, "Okay,
Miaro izy.
ask me the questions."
Apetrao amiko ilay fanontaniana.
One of the questions, just one of the questions,
Raha ianareo fanontanianareo fotsiny, iray fotsiny.
the Spirit says, "What is the strangest thing
Dia izao no nanontaniany fanahy io hoe inona ny zavatra ohatrany hafahafa indrindra.
And this is the answer of the eldest brother.
Dia izao no valiny ilay lamatoa.
That even though we know
Hoy izy hoe na dia fantatsika azy
that one day we have to go,
fa handray andro any isika rehetra dia tsy maintsy mandeha.
we pretend that we're going to live forever.
Isika rehetra dia miaina sy mieritreritra hoe hiaina mandrakizay daholo na dia fantatsika hoe tsy maintsy handeha indray andro any.
And this was the strangest thing.
Dia izay ny zavatra hafahafa indrindra.
Is it true?
Marina ve?
Is it true?
Marina ve izay?
Even though in the back of your head you know you have to go one day,
Na dia efa fantatsika rehetra ao anaty lohantsika ao raha hoe indray andro any isika tsy maintsy miala eto amin'ny tany ity.
do you think about that?
Mieritreritra sy mametraka izay fanontaniana izay ao an-tsaina ve nefa isika?
What am I doing?
Inona ny ataoko?
What should I do?
Inona ny tokony ataoko?
How can I be kind?
Ahoana ny ahafahako ho tonga olona tsara fanahy?
Even though I am using the word kind, who do you think the kindness begins with?
Na dia hoe ampiasaiko matetika ilay teny hoe ahatsara-panahy. Avy any amin'izy ny tokony hanomboka ny ahatsara-panahy raha ny hevitrareo.
It begins with you
Mila miainga avy aminao
for you.
ary ho aminao.
Begins with you
Miainga avy aminao
for you.
ary ho aminao.
And this is what you have to understand. This is knowing yourself.
Izay ny zavatra tokony ho azonao. Izay natao hoe fahafantarana ny tenanao.
So, thank you very much. Thank you very much for letting me talk to you.
Sotra betsaka namela ifampiresaka aminareo.
And I hope the Peace Education Program
Misy manantena fa ilay fandahara-pampianarana mahakasika ny fiadanana anaty
offers a new hope to you.
dia anome fanantenana vaovao indray ho anao.
And when it offers a new hope to you,
Dia satria rehefa manome fanantenana vaovao ho anao izany,
it's going to offer a new hope for your village,
dia anome fanantenana vaovao ho an'ny tanàna misy anao,
for your family,
ho an'ny fianakavianao,
for your towns,
ho amin'ny renivohitra misy anao,
and indeed for your country.
ary ihany koa ho an'ny firenenao.
So, and it just doesn't stop at the country, then it offers the whole world a hope, a new hope.
Dia tsy mijanona eo amin'ny firenena ihany izy io, fa mitatra ny firenena hafa ary manome fanantenana vaovao maneran-tany.
So thank you very much.
Sotra betsaka.
Thank you.
Trahina Andriamatoa Prem Rawat tamin'izay famelaberara ny fizarana tamintsika an'izay foto-kevitry ny fiadanam-po izay. So kosa ary Andriamatoa filohan'ny Repoblikan'i Madagasikara dia manasa anao mpanajana tompoko hiakatra aty ambony sehatra tondra ny latenao.
Andriamatoa Prime Ministre lehiben'ny gouvernemanta sy anareo ministra rehetra izay manatrika etony. Eo ihany koa ianareo izay parlementaire, eo ny sénateur sy ny député. Andriamatoa gouvernoran'ny faritra, mpisolo toerana, andriamatoa ben'ny tanàna, ianareo tompon'andraikitra ambony nangadino hoe moa eto aloha eto ny vice-président ny Sénat sy ny vice-président ny Assemblée nationale, fa indrindra miarahaba manokana n'Andriamatoa Prem Rawat zay tonga eto Madagasikara hizara ny fahalalana amin'ny tanora zay voafatina eto Toamasina. Rehefa nahazo ny antso hoe ho avy sy tonga eto Madagasikara Andriamatoa Prem Rawat dia nanasa ny ao anatin'ny fikambanana vanina vonina zay moa le izy vanina zay nikarakara an'izao hetsika zao hoe Andriamatoa filoha mba tianay ianao mba hanatrika ny hetsika zay ataonay dia tsy nisalasala fa na dia mbola tokony rapitso ary no tokony ho avy eto Toamasina dia ozy zaho hoe zava-dehibe loatra izany mampiofana ny tanora mba ho tanora vanina, mba ho tanora vonina, mba ho tanora ho tsara fiofanana. Dia zay no nahatonga anahy tonga eto androany hiaraka aminareo rehetrarehetra eto Topolavy. Zava-dehibe tokoa no mampita ny fahalalana. Ary zay no isorako manokana amin'ny Prem Rawat. Zay moa no resaka atao amin'ny résidence teo dia nomeny an'ity boky ty mino fa manana an'ity dôly ianareo zay fa anam-pelantananareo ihany a zay milaza hoe apprendre à s'écouter. Comment trouver la paix dans le bruit du monde. Zava-dehibe tokoa ny fampiasana ny mahafananana an'izany valeur zany. Ny zavatra nenoko nozarainy Prem Rawat teo a dia zavatra afaka ampiasaintsika amin'ny fiainantsika andavanandro. Ahafahantsika mi se remettre en question ny momba antsika tsirairay avy. Ny hoe le tantarainy tamin'ny voalohany. Ny hoe misy olona farak'izay sahirana. Zay manao ny asa tanana le sculpture ozy izy. Mikapoka vato, manao sary. Zay sary sikotra. Zay tena sarotra tokoa manao an'izany asa zany a. Nefa te hiaina amin'ny fiainana tsaratsara kokoa izy. Dia inona ny farany? Rehefa naniry izy no anana fiainana tsaratsara kokoa dia lasa araky ny tantara ny tenenitsika teo lasa niaina amin'ny fiainan'ny olona manan-katao. Dia naniry izy rehefa manan-katao dia ny teo mpanjaka. Rehefa teo mpanjaka izy dia maro le tantara ny iainana teo lasa masoandro, lasa mazava ho azy, lasa rahona, lasa rivotra ary te hiverina indray amin'ny fiainany teo aloha. Zay zavatra fampianarana nataony Prem Rawat zay no tiako izaraina amintsika ihany koa hoe misy ny atao hoe ikigai. Ny ikigai io dia fampianarana toe-tsaina hoentin'ny japonais. Ampianarana antsika tsirairay avy hoe inona ny mission tokony ho ataontsika tsirairay avy, ny olo-pirenena tsirairay avy eto amin'ity tany zay diavintsika ity. Manana ny anjara avytsika tsirairay avy. Ary zay ny antony nametrahako amin'izao fotoana izao hoe tsy maintsy mametraka ny tompona andraikitra rehetra, na ny olo-boatendry, na ny olo-boafidy, na ny olo-pirenena any amin'ny farak'izay kely indrindra, na any amin'izay mitantana ny firenena, dia tokony manana ny sotoavina na ny valeur. Ny sotoavina na ny valeur io dia noetiko eto androany satria nizaraiko izy io na amin'ny mpiara-miasa amiko, na amin'ny mpianatra, ary indrindra teneniko tamin'ny ministra hoe mba hoetry ihany koa eo anivon'ny ministère anareo tsirairay avy fa any amin'ny ivon'ny fampianarana. Izara aminareo amin'ny fohy amin'izany anisan'izany ny fitiavana, amour, ny finoana, ny foi, ny fahasahina, ny courage, ny fankasitrahana na ny gratitude. Dia hijanona eo amin'io gratitude io satria misy fandraisana amin'ny tenenin'ny Prem Rawat teo. Le gratitude raha tsy manana an'izay gratitude na fankasitrahana zay ianao dia tsy ho afa-po mihitsy amin'ny fiainanao. Na ianao mpitarika posy, na ianao chauffeur na tuk-tuk, na ianao tale, na ianao ministre, na ianao filoham-pirenena, ny fananana an'izay gratitude zay, na ianao olo-tsotra dia zava-dehibe. Raha nanana ny gratitude le olona ny fankasitrahana, le olona ny tenenin'ny Prem Rawat teo, dia tany am-pindohana ihany no niriny ho efarany amin'ny farany. Za aloha efa natao filoham-pirenena dia tsy maniry intsony no masoandro fa efa ampianany maha-filoham-pirenena ana. Ary zay ny teneniko ny olona rehetrarehetra. Zay ny teneniko ny olona rehetrarehetra hoe tsy ny titranao na ny postanao no atonga anova ihany koa ny fihetsikanao, fa zay andraikitra metrahana anao no ahafahanao manova zavatra sy mametraka tantara eo amin'ny fiainanao. Zay ny zava-dehibe. Za maha-filoham-pirenena na dia ao anatin'ny olana aritsika dia anao niezaka rehetrarehetra mihitsy mba hametraka tantara ho an'ny Madagasikara, hametraka tantara na ho an'ny vahoaka ny Toamasina. Zay ny zavatra ho ataoko. Zay le hoe gratitude, fisaorana an'Andriamanitra amin'ny zavatra rehetrarehetra. Fisaorana an'Andriamanitra nomeny tombonandro, fisaorana an'Andriamanitra no ananantsika fahasalamana, fisaorana an'Andriamanitra sakasitrahana amin'ny zavatra rehetrarehetra zay iainantsika isanandro isanandro. Na ianao tsy manan-katao, na ianao tsy ampy fivelomana, na ianao manan-katao dia zay gratitude zay no zava-dehibe indrindra. Ao anatin'izay ngamba ny amaranako anazy dia hoe ny fitiavana sy ny finoana ary ny fahasahina. ny fitiavana ny fitiavana ny zavatra ho ataonao ny fitiavan-tanindrazana ny fitiavana ny tokantranonao ny fitiavana ny zavatra rehetrarehetra ataonao zay ny ahitana fahombiazana ao anatin'ny zavatra rehetrarehetra tsy ho lava resaka fa so de lasa zany reny lasa après miravato eto fa zavatra fampitana ny atao-poko a fampitana ny zavatra iainako a no mba tiako ny fizarana aminareo fa de ankasitrahana ianareo fikambanana ankasitrahana ianareo tanora zay natonga n'izao lanonana iarahantsika zao androany satria zava-dehibe ny fampitana tokoa ny hevitra ny fampitana ny fanofanany olana hoe ny fahitana n'izay paix intérieur ao anatintsika tsirairay avy zay fa de isorana atsika rehetrarehetra tsara no mampafantatra fa olona fatadaza maneran-tany araky ny hitantsika teo a i Prem Rawat ao anatin'izay fanaovana ny conférence maneran-tany zay ary avy eto a Madagasikara izy a dia andeha ho any Afrika Atsimo ary andeha ho any Benin ihany koa naso tombony manokana zany tsika fa tsy tsika tehaka mafy be a hosorana amin'ny Prem Rawat tonga eto a Madagasikara manao an'izao conférence izao makasitraka atsika rehetrarehetra misaotra tompoko lahy mankatelina tompoko vavy samy itahin'Andriamanitra dao tsika rehetra
mankasitraka Andriamatoa filohan'ny Repoblikan'i Madagasikara ary ireto tanora maro dia mankasitraka anao tamin'ny afatra izay noentinao teo ohatra ny resinay dia nankalaza ny andro raisam-pirenena ho an'ny filatsahana an-tserako na ny journée nationale du volontariat journée internationale de volontaire ny tety Tomasina fankalazana nationale izy io tamin'ny herinandro dia niara-ny entana reto sikotsy reto mpianatra reto nanadio ny tato sy nanadio toerana maro tety Tomasina ihany koa mandraindraikitra izy reo ary anaraka ny afatra nomenao ary ifanatona amin'ireo mpitondra fanjakana eto an-tanàna inona ny azo atao ifanomezan-tanana amin'izay fikasahana sy fitezana olom-pirenena vangona sy vonina izay mankasitraka tompoko fanaovan-tsonia fifanarahanm-piarah-miasa eo amin'ny TPRF sy ny vovonan'ny skoty na io katolika na io laïka na io adventiste na protestanta fa tena mivondrona mihitsy izay ny anisan'ny ivony fotoan-dehibe tika dia angatahana ny teknisianina anomana ny toerana anaovana an'izany satria efa mandeha de mandeha ny fotoana dia angatahana ny solontenan'ny skoty angatahana ny avy amin'ny fondation TPRF mba hiakatra itya anao an'izay fanaovan-tsiny izay dia angatahana ireo olobentsika rehefa avy eo hiaraka sara am'zareo fa dia atao zany ny fifanaovan-tsonia am'izao ora sy fotoana izao ny filohan'ny vovonan'ny antily no mitantana ny bureau paritra ivondronan'izy ireo am'izao fotoana izao dia izy zany no nahazo mandat nisy taratasy ny fanaovan'izy ireo sonia dia izy no isolotena azy ireo anao ny sonia ny soja be Prem Rawat kosa no misolotena ny fondation TPRF
platine des DJ Max. L'accro du mix.
Mankasitraka azy roa amin'ny rahalahy mianaka tamin'ny fanaovan-tsonia ho marina amin'ny fakanasary moa izany izy roa amin'ny rahalahy mianaka ho zany no manao ny fakanasary voalohany fakasary azafady Andriamatoa filohan'ny Repoblikan'i Madagasikara sy Ramatoa vadiny Andriamatoa Premier Ministre lehibe ny gouvernement miangavy anareo ray aman-dreny tompoko hiakatra ety aloha
Thank